Hello everyone, my name is Tom Simulus, and today I want to show you how to make great introduction music for your video game, or any production that you're working on. Now before we get started, as always I do want to show you an example so you don't end up watching this entire video and learn completely the wrong thing. So here's an example of what we're going to create. Now, one of the key secrets of having great introduction music is not just the chord progressions, which that is a key. It's not just the main instruments that are playing or even the background instruments, the fact that there are a large variety of them. But it's sort of the difference in allowing your music to be repeatedly played and sound great. Now this is the key when you compose your music, whether you want someone to listen to it multiple times or you want someone to only listen to it once, and you make that great impacting effect. Now, before I get started explaining any of this, I want to get out of the way the tutorial, or I guess you could say the secret to making great introduction music for your video. And I don't have a clip for that because all it is just the chorus to a song. If you'll notice, when you really like a song, that the chorus really stands out. You can listen to the chorus over and over and it doesn't really get old as easily as it does other songs or other parts of that song. Now people usually put the chorus for the intro of a video, or no matter what it is, because that just seems to work out. You can listen to it and when you hear the chorus of the song it reminds you of the video, and you can watch the introduction to the video multiple times without it getting bored. Like I said, the way you can listen to the chorus multiple times without that getting bored. Now, when you compose for video games, it's totally different. You're not creating anything like a chorus because it's not really a theme. If you were creating a theme, then that would make sense. But if you listen to the sample, none of the chords are the same. They're more like, I guess you could say, diminishing. There must be some kind of word for it, but it starts at a higher chord and it ends with a lower one, and it's sort of like a finale in a sense. Now I've also placed multiple instruments playing at the same time, but they're all doing different things to make an overwhelming effect, and you really want the listener to hear this introduction music and just get ready to play the game and get super excited about it. If you do listen to that intro multiple times, you'll notice it gets more boring and just more straightforward the more you listen to it than it would if you listen to the chorus of a song. In other words, if you start out a game and it played that intro music consistently every time you started the game, you would easily get bored of it, and you wouldn't like it at all. So when composing this, I kept that in careful mind, that I wanted it to be a one-time thing where you hear that music and it's just overwhelming and it sounds totally amazing. Now the key and all that don't really matter in this sense. It's more of just what you want to create. If you have watched my video on creating sad music, it does deal with just using more natural notes and major progressions, all that kind of thing. This doesn't really matter. It's just all up to you. The best way I can describe it is to listen to that sample. You can also find it on our Reverb Nation page if you click to the link below, and I'll post that on there. So you can just listen to it multiple times and study that, or just if you're really looking for great intro music and you just want an idea, then look at what you're trying to go after. If you're someone who is trying to make intro music for your video game, then you probably have a game in mind that you really want to follow after, so you'll be wanting to copy after that. The main thing with creating intro music, and just not really composing but production wise overall, is to have as much fun with it as possible. And I'll talk about this later in a video on background music, but the main point is that if you don't have fun, it's a straightforward and computing process, if that makes sense. If you can imagine playing a drum beat or literally any instrument that's perfectly quantized, every note is almost identical, it sounds very robotic. And when you're creating music for video games, it's already something that is built out of a computer, and we want to create a natural effect out of it. And then that's our job as music composers, is to get that out there and to really divide the verbs between computing and sort of the music and the natural aspect of a game. Now on the other hand, if you are making an intro for your video or whatnot, you want that to work the same way. You have the chorus of a song in which someone can listen to that multiple times and not get bored of it, and then you have the same repeating video. In the best way I can explain it, if you watch a TV show, a television show, or a movie, any kind of cinematic production, you can watch it probably once or twice and it won't get that boring. But if you listen to a song that you really like, you can listen to it tons of times before it even slightly gets boring, and you want to combine those two effects together by placing that chorus that just sounds amazing in front of the video before someone listens to it, just to get them excited and energetic about it the same way you would when producing for video games. Alright, that's all this video is about. If you like it, then please give it a thumbs up. If you want more of these videos, subscribe. And as always, any comments or suggestions are totally welcome. If you have any ideas or anything like that for further videos, any questions, just post those below. Also visit us on Reverb Nation. That's where our studio grows mostly. Right now we have about 140 followers on Reverb Nation, so go follow us over there. Until then, I'm Thomas Emulus, and this is Emulus Studio.